Okay. Hello.
Hello. Are you on a good holiday?
I'm on holiday currently.
Yeah. Are you having a good one? Are you having a good one?
I think I'm having a great one. Hopefully by this point in time, I'll have painted Kitty's bedroom. Oh, you've disappeared.
I have. Oh, dear. Hang on.
I'm back.
My microphone's unmuted, it tells me.
Right.
There we are.
Well, there we go. Should we try it again in case Harry has to cut that bit out? Hello.
Hello. Are you having a good holiday?
Yes, I'm having a lovely holiday. Thank you.
Good. Oh,
You had a nice few.
what's been happening this week?
Well, I don't know because I haven't got a crystal ball.
No, that's very true. Yeah, that's very true.
I don't know.
It's like that sign that used to be on the road to Solway Ash, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you believe in the whatever meeting last Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, time travel. Yeah.
It's got a quote from.
Exactly.
We're not doing very well. We've spent the last half an hour talking to each other, talking over each other. I don't know if it's a delay on the internet or just we're rubbish today. It's got all quiet.
Oh, no. I think it's a combination of both. Me having difficulty getting a word in edgeways, and the difficulty with the internet.
We were supposed to be recording this in the garden this time, weren't we? But sadly, our next door neighbours are having to have the road dug up outside our garage to fit a water meter. So it was rather pneumatic. So we decided to stick to the internet. But there we are.
We did, and we have. And I can hear drilling now out of my garden window. So I may have to close that in a few minutes. During the pause, I'll do that.
And then we'll melt. All right, then. Let's have a pause then.
Let's go for a pause. Pithy pause. You do that, and I'll shut the windows.
Right then.
Today for us.
It is. Jumped on a bit, so we're in chapter 16 now, and this is chapter 16 verses 13 to 20.
Yep.
Now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And they said, "Some say John the Baptist, but others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Then he sternly ordered the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. I feel like it should go dun, dun, dun at the end.
Yeah.
But if it was EastEnders, it would be doof, 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 at the end of that.
You'd had some program on television or something.
I used to watch it. I don't anymore. But they always have a cliffhanger, and then the theme music.
Oh, do they? Oh. Anyway, Jesus has always been very good at telling people not to tell anybody, isn't he?
Yes.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell them my name, Pike.
That's a cultural reference I don't get because I'm too young.
Possibly.
Sorry. Stats
On the other hand, you may not be owning up to things. Who knows? However, Jesus was very good. Several times he told them not to tell anybody.
Why do you think that was?
I find that always. I've no idea.
I was expecting the answer.
You would think, wouldn't you, that Jesus would be quite happy for people to know that he was the Son of the living God. He'd been telling people long enough.
Yeah.
And but don't tell anybody. But our friend Peter's back again, isn't he?
Are we in love with him or not at the moment?
We always love Peter, really, because I think he certainly reminds me of me in many ways. I try my best, but I usually make a muck up of it.
I think there's a lot of Peter in all of us. He's the kind of universal, terribly enthusiastic, but not always competent.
I'll sign up to that.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty much in my life. I always think that it's
happy to sign up.
It's a real turning point, though, isn't it? I remember being taught this at theological college, that the confession at Caesarea Philippi, the moment when Jesus says to Peter, "Who do you say I am?" is the turning point for the gospel. So up till then, it's been all about revealing himself, and then the turning point changes the direction, and then we're heading towards Jerusalem, which means that we're already on the sort of heading towards death element of this. And you think what we've been. Go on.
I say, which is why, having spent all this time revealing himself, it seems suddenly strange that he says to Peter, "Don't tell anybody."
Well, and also plenty of people already know. If you think back to last week with the Canaanite woman, he said to her, "I'm here only for the lost sheep of Israel." And she knew perfectly well who he was, because she was demanding, miracles of him, because she knew he was the Son of God. And, they know, think about the bit a couple of weeks ago when they were walking on the water and he steps into the boat having rescued Peter, and the thing the disciples say is, "Surely you are the Son of God." So plenty of people have already twigged. It's not a great surprise, is it?
Well, when he asks the disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" I mean, they don't come with a great deal of things. One says John the Baptist, somebody says Elijah, somebody says Jeremiah. Yeah, but nobody says, "Oh, you could be Fred Smith, who owns the bakery in Galilee," or
you're Joseph and Mary's son.
That's right, or Horace the baker, or Horace the boatman, or anything. No. They've got all these grand ideas. But Peter gets it right for once. You are the Son of the living God, the Messiah.
And in Matthew...
The one for whom...
We're really bad at this today. And in Matthew's account, he then has that commission straight after, which I don't think comes in the other gospel accounts of the confession. It doesn't, but it's this bit where he says, "And you're going to be the rock, the one on whom I build my church." So there's like this two thing. It's like understanding of faith. The confession of faith leads immediately into vocation, which I think we see, don't we, in parish ministry?
I wonder if Peter had ever thought that his vocation was to be the rock on which the church was going to be built.
I'd have said no, probably.
No. Because it doesn't tell us what Peter says at that point, because if it had been me, knowing my incompetence, I'd have probably said, it's a good joke, Jesus, but you got the wrong one here, haven't you? I'm pretty incompetent. I muck it up all the time. And you want the church we built on me. Actually, it's a bit like the Church of England, really, isn't it?
What, enthusiastic but incompetent?
Just in case the bishop's watching, please note, Bishop, I didn't say that. I did lead somebody else into that statement, though.
But I think that for me, it sums up entirely vocation, doesn't it? Because we try to talk about vocation quite a lot in our sermons and in our work here in the team. And of course, vocation means calling to our Christian service. It doesn't mean ordained ministry. It just means our calling to do what God has called us to do. And but often people's reaction to their vocation being revealed, or for people saying, have you ever thought about X, Y? Often the reaction is, you're having a laugh. I'm not going to be any good at doing X, Y, Z. And probably that is the most common reaction to vocation, and probably the right reaction to vocation as well, is that because if we think we can do it all on our own, we have no need of God, and therein lies disaster. So it's interesting.
It is. Yes, and Peter gets it just about right in the end. If it's your will, Lord, I guess I'll have a go.
Well, that's the whole story, isn't it? And, that is the story of God at work in humanity. You look through the Bible and it's constantly full of people going, really? Me? Are you sure? All right, then. Well, I'll give it a whirl, but only with your help. Mary, that's what she says, let it be for me according to your will. Moses wasn't massively keen, was he, being the leader of the Israelites either? So, there's Jonah. Jonah was noticeably reluctant to take up his vocation as well. So there's, interesting times. So what... That's
right. And Peter must have felt a little bit inferior, though, later, because along came his not enemy, but his nemesis, Paul, who, of course, is always right.
Yes. That's quite a long way in the future, though, isn't it, for Peter?
Lots it is, but he must play on his nerves eventually, mustn't it? Must play. And of course, Peter depicted from this statement really about the keys. Often you'll see, if you see a saint in a window, you can always tell Peter because he's the one holding the keys, isn't he?
Yeah.
As opposed to the evangelist John, who will have Bible or things. Very interesting. So Peter, you're the one, and when I've gone, you're going to be the future. And he has to now go through his theological training for that, doesn't he?
I think he's been doing a fair amount of theological training up to this point, to be honest.
No, he was on the original Aston course until now.
He's on Miracles 101 at the moment.
Yeah, the preparation just to get on to the next stage.
Well, and next week
I'm sure the church...
Go on.
I was going to say, I'm sure that the Church of England learned its way forward from these, pre-preparation, then the big statement, then you start the training, and Peter's off now.
Well, we're going to catch
up.
Like
most of us, halfway through, he runs away.
Well, I was going to say, next week we're going to catch up with his first big mess up, aren't we? Well, not his first one, but the first
Peter.
one after this calling. There we are.
Yeah, that's right.
Do we hope that we...
Like Theological College.
Hello, real life. Shall we hope we're better in the next one at not speaking over each other? It's like a time delay. Right.
There is a time delay.
It's just you mucking around. Do you want to do the end bit?
You mean my general statement?
Well, the bit about the social media.
Well, it's fairly simple.
Go on then.
If you want to follow us on social media, dear viewer, it'll appear on the screen immediately after we finish talking. But you can follow us on...
Oh, me? At Beaminster Team on social media.
And Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pigeon Post.
And the website.
You said that without moving your lips then. There must be a delay.
I think there is a terrible delay today. Right, we'll go and we'll come back and look at the next chapter in a minute. Sorry, next week.
Well, lovely to see you, viewer. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.